Hi, my name is Akriti Furia, and currently I am a student at IIM Bangalore in the first year. Prior to this, I am a CA by profession, and my career journey has been rather unconventional, as has my CAD journey been. Uh, and I think the most pivotal point of my whole journey was me joining coaching with Patrick sir and Rochelle ma'am, at which point things started to seem really possible for me. Somewhere around January 2020 is when I had enrolled for CAT coaching with Patrick sir and Rochelle ma'am. But at that point, I was not really sure whether I would be attempting the CAT that year or whether I would be attempting it seriously that year. But as the year progressed, of course, COVID happened, and more and more it started to seem like this would be a very good year to attempt the CAT, and so I would be able to prepare for my exam alongside work as well. So somewhere around July 2020 is when I made up my mind that I would be attempting the CAT in 2020. How did I prepare? Well, to be really honest, it seemed like a lot of a uphill task when it started. But as Sir keeps on reminding, you need to have a plan in place. When you begin on the first day, you need to have a plan as to what are the concepts or what are the items that you would want to cover in detail. And then you need to plan backwards from the date of the exam. Keep a target of the number of mocks that you would like to attempt and accordingly plan slots for your concept preparation and your mocks and mock analysis. Uh, Having these goals and adhering to them is a key part of the process because when time seems short, it's this preparedness or this planning that is going to help you. Of course, make sure that this plan is not too rigid, that it allows for you to make improvements and changes, that it gives you time to relax, most importantly, and does not kill your intuition because CAT is as an exam is very intuitive. On the day of the exam, there might be some things that happen that are completely beyond your control. So allow yourself to rest. Uh, when did I start my preparation and how many hours did I prepare for? I started my preparation somewhere around July first week, and at that point, I was able to give only around a couple of hours every day, as well as some time on the weekends, which was usually spent in classes. The time during the weekdays, I used to spend doing the prescribed 1 hour of reading that Sir and Ma'am so rightly kind of recommend to us, and also by solving basic mathematics, doing arithmetical equations or learning squares and cubes and fractions, etc. Because this is a very important part of being able to solve really fast. I also was commuting to work sometimes. So during this time, what I used to do is I used to just take one of the worksheets that Sir and Mom gave us, and I used to solve it on the way, deliberately trying to do it without a pen, so that there is a habit being developed of thinking without a pen and a paper. And slowly, somewhere around August, things at work kind of eased out. So I was able to give somewhere around 3.5 hours per day and well, going forward, I mean, somewhere around November first week, I got around 15 days of leave where I was 15 to 20 days of leave where I was dedicatedly able to just prepare for the CAT. During this time, however, I think I didn't give more than 4 or 5 mocks. I primarily chose to go back to my previous mocks and solve the questions that I was not doing well with. By this time, I knew what I was not doing well with. And yeah, basically that was the flow of preparation. What challenges did I face? I mean, the biggest challenge for me personally was my work because it is very difficult to do justice to studies as well as work at the same time. Fortunately for me, work from home was there to stay, and I mean during this time, I had kind of informed my bosses in advance that I would be requiring certain time to prepare for these examinations, and because of their support and keeping clear disciplined deadlines of preparation, I was able to take out some time on a daily basis. Having said that, it might happen that you might sometimes not be able to take that time, or you might skip out on a few days. Don't feel too bad. Don't knock yourself down for it. It happens to the best of us. What you have to do is basically bounce back from it and get back on the wagon. That's the most important thing. There will be times when everything will start to fall apart, but you have to keep going back to the drawing board and making a new schedule or adhering to your old schedule. See what works, see what doesn't work for you. Um, what were my weak and strong areas? Um, I had given CAT 2019 just, with little to no preparation, and I had gotten a score of 95.26, which was so lopsided. It was primarily because of my VARC score. Uh, and so I thought on the basis of that VARC was my strong suit. Um, and quantitative aptitude, as happens for a lot of non-engineers, was a sore point for me. DILR was somewhere in the middle. It was, really needed to be better at it, be faster at it, because I was not doing as many sets. So these were my area breakups. And within VARC also, what I saw was that as I solved intuitively, I was accurate, but there were some times when I used to overthink or, let's say, question my own judgment. And there were spaces where I was blatantly wrong, where I needed to develop a knack. So, example for verbal ability questions, for jumbled sentences, etc. What tends to happen is that your mind tends to read it in a logical sequence, but that might not be the case. Sometimes you need to take cues from the questions. So all of these things I had to develop. Um, Apart from that, of course, quant was there, and quant is nothing but brute practice. You have to pick up like sums and solve them, and preferably by Sear's method of not using a pen. Because the more you do that, and the earlier you do that in your CAT journey, the better it's going to be towards the end. There might be a time when you might feel like nothing is moving, or that you are not able to solve more than a certain number of questions in the mock. But you have to consistently keep giving those next few mocks, not feel disheartened, because suddenly in a few short weeks, probably you'll see some kind of spike happening in the number of questions that you're able to attempt. So bank on that. And of course, here's something that I used to do personally for myself. I used to maintain a formula book of sorts. And this was like in the form of cue cards. So, index cards, which were easy to carry, probably a few inches wide, you can carry them in the palm of your hand. And I had two fat booklets of cue cards, which I had filled with all the rules that I had gotten throughout the course of solving different mocks, encountering different questions. And what I used to do is I used to write the question in brief on the front side, and then I used to kind of solve the answer on the reverse side. And so that acted as a sort of revision mechanism for me. Sometimes when I had nothing to do, I'd just go back to the cue cards, look at the question, go on the reverse side, solve the answer, and see what concept I had noted down. And it's helped me a number of times. And it's also helped my friends, to be really honest. Apart from that, for DILR, again, there is no alternative but to solve more and more sets. I would suggest that particularly for VARC and DILR, form groups with people, because people other than yourself might spot a trick, or let's say have some kind of shortcut to solving things, or some might spot some patterns in the question which you are not able to spot. And really, that is the whole magic of collaborative learning in the CAT. How did I keep myself motivated? Well, I think there were times when I was really slumped, but I owe it to my support system to kind of hold me together. Of course, my family, who were always there throughout this whole journey, looking over me, and well, sir and ma'am, of course. And there was this really good peer group that had formed within the CAT class, within the batch, of 4 or 5 people who used to really collaborate with each other without any comms, share material across to each other, discuss ways of solving, meet up regularly, and solve DILR or quant problems together. And sometimes what happens is in these interactions, in the course of these interactions, you tend to talk with people, and that is where you will gain different perspectives. You'll realize why other people are doing CAT, etc., and you'll realize where you stand vis-a-vis them. So I think that is something that you should do. Develop a support system who's in your peer group, so that you can hold each other up when the time comes. Um, well, how many mocks did I write? Why so many? How did it help? I would say that in the whole course of preparing for CAT, I had written for approximately 40 mocks of CAT. I had written also 8 mocks of ZAT and I think 2 mocks of NMAT. For the CAT mocks, why the number 40? Actually, the number that I was aiming for was maybe slightly higher, or maybe I had not kept a cap for it. But strongly, I had felt that I needed to kind of increase my speed. Even towards the end, I felt like speed was a sore point for me in DILR and quant particularly, and I needed to really beat down my intuition and take scientific options when it came to VRC. So I kept working towards that point. And what also happens is that in the course of giving mocks, first you start giving at random times of the day. Probably you give once a week. It's just to season you up and all of that. At those points, you probably don't notice as much about the way you are reacting to questions, or the way your environment is having an effect on you, or the way your mood, or the thing that you ate, or the weather outside is having an impact on your solving. But in the course of solving so many mocks, once you standardize a time, once you kind of sit down and really in right earnest start to solve things, you realize that all of these factors that you thought were mundane or not affecting you, even something as simple as the fan being on or the air conditioner being on, does actually affect you. And I think for me, the whole process of preparing for CAT was a process of plotting these various changes and the way they impacted me personally, and seeing what worked best for me. Um, Both inside the exam and outside the exam. See what kind of questions I was excited to look at, and see what kind of questions I really had a prejudice against. All of these things also helped me to form my ideal CAT day strategy. And of course, during the exam, there were some unexpected happenings. I mean, some events that I had really no control over. And I think, had I not had these 40 mocks on me, I would have not been able to counter that situation.